What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Wrestling City. As always, I'm Taylor. Let's talk about WrestlePalooza. WrestlePalooza. Mm. Let me just start off by saying I'm not going to come on here and say that it was a bad show. I don't think it was a bad show. Was it a great show? No, I don't think it was a great show. I think the wrestling part of the show, I thought it was fine. Outside of the opener, which I thought was, the opener, it was what it was between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. I'll get into more of that in just a second, but I just kind of left the show underwhelmed. I felt underwhelmed when the show ended. Like nothing really major happened, and Triple H, he kind of set us up. Um, he was talking about before the show, leading up to the show. Expect a big night, expect some surprises. I didn't see any surprises. Where were the surprises? And I feel like Triple H, he does this a lot, where it's a bunch of false hope, false hype, if that makes any sense. Where he's trying to get himself hyped up for the show when he knows going into it that, I mean, this show is probably penciled in for a good 3 weeks, maybe. So I think he knew coming into the show that what we were going to get, and I don't know what he thought what he put on the card last night was, something major, something big, first ever ESPN/WWE premium live event, and it was mediocre. I think that is the best way to put how WrestlePalooza went. Mediocre. Now that's just my opinion. You guys can let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of the show. If you thought it was great, good, that's your opinion. I'm not going to tell you what you need to think of the show, but I'm going to tell you what I think of the show, and I genuinely thought it was mediocre, underwhelming. Um there were really three things I didn't like about this show. Number one, the opener, John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Now, I expected going into this match that we weren't going to get the type of John Cena matches that we've been getting, like the ones he had against Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam, like the one he had against Logan Paul in Clash in Paris, or the one he had against Sami Zayn on SmackDown 2 weeks ago for the U.S. title. I knew going into this match that we weren't going to get some kind of 5-star classic. It's John Cena and Brock Lesnar. You're not going to get a 5-star classic from a match between John Cena and Brock Lesnar, especially in the year 2025. It's just not going to happen. A guy like Brock Lesnar, he's not out there to give you 5-star classics. He's out there to kick ass. And that is exactly what he did. Now, we don't have to like it, but I guess we'd have to deal with it at this point. Um, I feel like they really tried to copy what they did from SummerSlam 2014 and paste it onto this match, on this match here at WrestlePalooza. So it started off with Brock Lesnar right out of the gate. He was beating up on John Cena, took him to Suplex City fairly early into the match. John Cena tried to fight back. He hit a few shoulder bumps, shoulder tackles. I think he hit like 3 straight attitude adjustments, FUs, whatever you want to call them. I know commentary was calling them FUs at some point. And then I think Brock kicked out after that. So then John Cena gets up, does the whole "you can't see me," goes for the 5 knuckle shuffle, but then Brock Lesnar catches him, hits him with 3 straight F5s. And I believe after that, he goes for the cover. Cena kicks out. And then all we got from that point on was 4 straight more Brock Lesnar F5s. One, two, three, and that was it. That was it. Now, I predicted Brock Lesnar to win this match. Unfortunately, I just knew he was going to win this match, and he did. But I don't think this is the last time we're going to see John Cena and Brock Lesnar in the same ring this year. Um, I could very well see this match happening. It's either going to happen at Crown Jewel again, or this could very well be John Cena's last final match on his farewell tour. I don't want it to be his final match on his farewell tour. I think that needs to be to a guy that John Cena can put over. I think John Cena should lose his final match and put somebody over like Gunther or Braun Breaker. It needs to go to somebody like that. I think that's what they should do. Um, but they could very well tell a story here where, John Cena, like I said, the last 3 matches he had before this between Cody Rhodes, Logan Paul, Sami Zayn, they were all great matches. He had this momentum going where he was putting on great matches to kind of go off into the sunset on a high note. And Brock Lesnar comes in and puts a stop to that immediately. Brock Lesnar walked in here and said, "F your farewell tour. I'm coming in here and I'm ending this. I'm going to ruin it right now." And that's what he did. But I think John Cena at some point, I think it should happen at Crown Jewel. John Cena is probably going to get his win back. That's just the way I think. That's just how I feel that they're going to go moving forward with this. Um, that's what I would like to see. I know a lot of people don't want to see another Brock Lesnar and John Cena match, but if it leads to John Cena getting his win back, then I'm all for it. So very underwhelming opening. Number two, what I didn't like about WrestlePalooza was the ending. Now, I'm not talking about the main event match itself, the ending match. I'm talking about how the show went off the air. That was really underwhelming. I thought when they announced that this was the main event, Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre for the title, I thought of two things. Either WWE is going to do something crazy that we rarely see them do, and that is, you know, I I really thought they were either going to have Drew McIntyre win the title since this was the main event, have the first ever ESPN WWE PLE end off with, oh my gosh, Drew McIntyre actually beat Cody Rhodes. I mean, could you imagine the headlines that would have got? That would have been a huge headline. Cody Rhodes in the first ever ESPN PLE covering WWE lost to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, who's been trying to get back the WWE the WWE champion for 4 years now. I mean, that would have been a major headline. So they were either going to do that, either have Drew McIntyre win the title, or they were going to have Randy Orton come out after the match and turn heel. That's what I thought was going to happen. That's what a lot of people thought were going to happen, but it didn't happen. They just kind of go off the air, and Cody Rhodes retains, and that's it. And I remember I was sitting here on my live stream, and I appreciate all of you that showed up to the WrestlePalooza watch along last night right here on the Wrestling City YouTube channel. Had a pretty good amount of people show up, so thank you guys for that. But yeah, I was just sitting here like, what? That's it? Like, okay. Very underwhelming. Once again, another underwhelming part about this show. Um, Now that's not gonna. I won't let that take away the match because I thought the match was really good. And it looks like they were trying to tell a story during this match where Cody Rhodes was having some ring rust since this was his first match back since SummerSlam, where there was one part in the match where he was going for it was either a disaster kick or a Cody cut. I think it was a Cody cutter, and he's running to the ropes to kind of bounce off of him, springboard off of him, and then he kind of stops and falls forward. He starts like grabbing his head. I'm not sure what that was about, but yeah, I thought the match was really good. Uh, Another thing I didn't like about the show was the amount of commercials that we got. It really felt like I was watching an episode of Raw or SmackDown with the amount of commercials that we get. We usually don't get these. We usually don't get these type of things during a PLE, and I think one way that they could really, you know, trim down the commercials a little bit is add more matches. You had this show was 3.5 hours long, and you only had 5 matches. I think they need to start doing 6 or 7 matches. I always they did 7 matches for Evolution, the all women's PLE earlier this year, and I thought the way that the way that show was formatted, it just it was so smooth. It just everything just the way the show went on, it was nice. It was nice. And nothing felt rushed. Nothing felt like it was dragging on or anything like that. They just 5 matches for a 3.5 hour show is too much because then we just got to sit here through 3 minutes, 5 minutes of commercials, and you're just like, okay. Sometimes I just want to go ahead and get into the next action. So that's another thing I didn't like. Outside of that, everything else I really enjoyed. I enjoyed the both the tag team matches. We had 2 of those. The first one was the Usos. They were back together. They took on the Vision, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. LA Knight was the special guest referee. They announced that like just a couple hours before the show. I thought that was a really fun match. I love how LA Knight allowed them to use some weapons. They were using chairs. They brought in a table. Braun Breaker used that table to his advantage when he speared both Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso through it. Jey Uso got cut open pretty bad on his forehead. Um, I don't know how he got cut open. If you guys want to let me know, I went back on Twitter and I saw a slow motion clip of it, and it looked like when he swung the chair, and then after he swings the chair, he starts bleeding down his forehead. I don't know if he somehow hit himself in the head with the chair when he was, bringing it up, swinging it around his head to hit somebody, hit Braun Breaker with it, but he may have done that. I saw the slow motion clip, and I still didn't get anything from that. It looked like it kind of affected him a little bit. He was a little dizzy, and then the medical team was right on the spot to check on him. But I thought it was a fun match, and the Brawns finally get a win. It's about dang time. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed finally get a win on a PLE. I mean, they've been stacking up wins on, episodes of Raw, but they needed this victory more than the Usos did. The Brawns, they lost at SummerSlam to Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. I said that they should have won that match. They should have. And then Bronson Reed goes to Clash in Paris and loses to Roman Reigns. So I thought what they did in this match, I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it, and they got the right winner. About time they finally got the right winner in that one. After that, I am shocked about what we saw after this. Stephanie Vaquer beat Io Sky to become the new women's world heavyweight champion. I did not expect this. If you guys saw our predictions video, I said Stephanie Vaquer was going to win. Ryler predicted Stephanie Vaquer. No, I said Io Sky was going to win. Excuse me. Ryler said Stephanie Vaquer was going to win, so he got that right. I got that wrong. He ended up retaining the Brass City Predictions Championship. So good for him, I guess. But yeah, I said Io Sky because so at that point, I didn't know what they were doing at Crown Jewel. I didn't know if they were going to put those Crown Jewel champions on the line like they did at Crown Jewel last year, which they announced right before this match that that was going to happen. So we will be getting the Crown Jewel champions on the line again. So I don't know how to feel about that, but uh, at least that means Rhea Ripley's not going to be getting another World Heavyweight Championship match anytime soon. So I'll take that as a win, I guess. But yeah, Stephanie Vaquer is the new Women's World Heavyweight Champion. Look, I'm really happy for her. I think she deserves this. Did I think it was too soon? I said it was too soon because a lot of we haven't seen a lot of her on the main roster. She's had a couple matches, but outside of that, she's been backstage doing like 20-second promos every like 2 or 3 weeks. And I thought they were going to put this belt on Io, and I thought they were going to later on, maybe at the beginning of 2026, like the Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber, they would have had Stephanie win one of those matches, build her up a little bit more, and then have her win the title at WrestleMania. But no, they decided to pull the trigger right now and put the belt on Stephanie Vaquer. So props to Stephanie Vaquer. I think she deserves this. And I hope that they give her a lengthy title reign. I think that's what she deserves. I think she can do wonders with that Women's World Championship. She's getting better with her English, so I think she'll be able to cut better promos moving forward. And the matches she's going to have with that title on the line, I'm looking forward to it. So props to Stephanie Vaquer. Um, and then we had the mixed match tag team match. We had AJ Lee and CM Punk. AJ Lee, this was her first match back in 10 long years. They took on CM Punk, not CM Punk, excuse me, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I really enjoyed this match. It was a lot of fun. It really felt like if you ever go back and watch like these kind of mixed match tag team matches from back like in the 90s or 80s, this is exactly what it felt like. Um, so it was really fun. AJ Lee and CM Punk did pick up the win because AJ Lee made Becky Lynch tap out. And if that tells you anything, we know what's going to happen between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee moving forward. It's obvious. AJ Lee is probably going to win that Intercontinental Championship. I could very well see her win the Intercontinental Championship as soon as Crown Jewel. If not, maybe Survivor Series, or they could do it on that Saturday night's main event before. I think they have a Saturday night's main event before Survivor Series. I know that they're going to do it on one of those. I mean, that's why they had AJ Lee beat Becky Lynch. So it was a really fun match. I love the shenanigans that Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins were doing at the beginning of the match. You had Rollins; he was mocking AJ Lee, skipping around her, skipping around uh, CM Punk, and then there was a brutal spot on the announce tables where CM Punk had Rollins up on his shoulders going for a GTS on top of the announce table. Becky Lynch pushed AJ Lee onto both of them, and I really wish they'd go back to the older announce tables because these announce tables, they don't break very well. They don't break easily. They don't break like the other ones used to. Because when it broke, the front part of the table, the part that has that huge LED board right in the front, the one that Cody Rhodes got his head kicked into on SmackDown a couple weeks ago, that part of the table didn't give out right away, and AJ Lee's ribs ate all of it. And I love how CM Punk immediately, as soon as they all hit the ground, first thing CM Punk did was went to go check on his wife. You know, so that was a heartwarming moment right there between them two. But other than that, is that enough to say that the show was good? like I said, it was underwhelming. That's what I thought. And that's been the case for WWE in the year 2025. They are really going through a rough patch. In 2025, like it's just been it hasn't been good, and it would be even more dreadful if it wasn't for the women's matches. I think the women have been carrying this company on their back. I think they carried the show last night. Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky. I think that was match of the night by far. But yeah, that's my thoughts on WrestlePalooza. Uh, I'll give it a thumbs in the middle. Uh, for a number rating out of 10, 6, maybe 6.5. I think 7. I might even go up to 7. That may be too high, but yeah, that's what I thought of WrestlePalooza. Um, so let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of WrestlePalooza. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Come join Wrestling City where you get all of your wrestling content. We do predictions, reviews, live streams, all that other fun stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this, yeah, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.